And we are Africa First. This is News Central, and we do have a News Central exclusive, no doubt. Today we will be talking to someone who is well known for a character that he plays so well. You could say he is very adamant. You could say he is well known to be very stubborn. But at the same time, he is Africa's most, I'll put it that way, you could say someone who's well known on the global scene. An actor, name it. Whatever you want to call him, but guess what? He is here with me, and I'll be doing justice to talking to him exclusively here on News Central. I am Joe Hansen, and joining me at this very moment is the one and only Jim Iyke.
Hey,
good to have you.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
It's good to see you here live.
Always a pleasure.
After all what we saw on social media,
yes.
and so on and so forth. Well, I'll be talking to you extensively in a few minutes, so I'm sure we're going to have a good discussion, no doubt.
No doubt.
So let me go straight off first. I'm going to start off with what we saw on social media, which was what many people thought actually was real.
Oh, I'm sworn in real life. Please, I'm sworn in real life. How did you know that I'm here? Wait, why did I know you're here? You think I won't find you?
First off, you came on social media and it seemed that you had a fight with a certain actor who knows not to hold his mouth, and it looked so real. And all of a sudden, months later, as a matter of fact, in 2022, it was revealed that it wasn't real. Why did you do that?
Well, it's a testament to my genius, isn't it? At the end of the day. But that's on a lighter note. That people really need to relax, you know, don't take this thing seriously. It's a pseudo realm. It's our key function as filmmakers is to educate first. Yes, profit is part of it, I dare say, but it's to educate, to edify certain virtues in our society, and again to criticize a certain down spiral or whatever it is that is like an ill in the society. I think that is chiefly my responsibility. I felt the entertainment value of a content I created was not being taken seriously.
You found me on Twitter. You found me on Instagram. You found me on Facebook. Your comments. Your 5 hate-filled comments.
Here we are, every pundit of note across sub-Saharan, termed this perhaps the best film to come out of our woodwork. And then people, while they were carried away with the content, did not understand the reason, the ominous reason why I made this film. Okay, now, if this were to come out from Bollywood or Hollywood, people would give it its flowers and probably say this is a pure art of genius, This might be, the singular most important film that addressed the social media ecosystem and what really transpires in it, the ominous nature of that platform. It's not what it is anymore. It's caused untold harm to so many people, especially most susceptible between these ages of 17 and 19 for suicide and depression. And chiefly this comes from this platform. I just felt a lot was being swept under the rug. The issue of mental health was not being addressed in our nation. People at the helm of affairs treated rather too trivially. And so if a certain demographic, even 5%, take away the fact that this was what I was trying to teach, this was a lesson that I wanted to amplify, I think is enough for me. And the other demographic that want to make it out or make me into some warped expectations, like some social media gangster in order to fulfill the expectations of myself, I think is an anathema to my depth and intellect, if you ask me.
Well, you know that you've been notable in playing that role of being a bad boy. And of course, coming on social media as well, that was people saying, oh yeah, that's what he's known for. That's Jim Iyke.
We'll play to the conviction, don't we? That's the genius of it. We'll play to the conviction. We just felt the message was not being taken seriously. The honest nature of it was not being, it's a satire. I created a satire that will foretell people that this is where we're heading with this propensity, this attitude of ours. The fact that we've taken social media as our everyday realism instead of the other way around. It's a place for social interactions, a social experiment platform People have, have gone there to damage people's mental health for no reason and made it culturally cool to do so. So it was very important, a message that had to be conveyed. My team got together and warned me strenuously not to release the other part. They say, listen, ride with the tide.
Oh, so there's a part two, eh?
No, I mean what was released.
Oh, okay.
Ride with the tide, enjoy the accolades. What is the accolade really? The fact that I was made out to be, I lived up to some people's warped expectation as an internet gangster. No.
Let's talk about you being able to remain a mystery to many. Many see Iyke as someone who actually comes in front of the TV screen, puts up that magnificent acting, plays that role so well, many roles, and then all of a sudden nobody knows so much about you. How are you able to show people one side of yourself and then you keep the other side? How have you been able to do that for years?
Because I came to understand the 3 tiers of existence that is prevalent in order to survive a certain longevity in this industry. I live a public, private, and secret life. It's paramount. It's chief to your survival in this industry. So I'll give you an analogy I just thought about. Say you're an avid reader and you visit a bookstore frequently, and then there's a book of interest you've taken. The chances that you'll return back and borrow that same book or look up that same book after you've read it twice is extremely low. But if I were to offer you, by the same author, that book in volumes, and you find the first volume a very interesting read, the chances of you coming back to constantly read the other volumes is high. Isn't that so?
I see.
Well, the same marketing is subtle seduction. I've never felt comfortable being comfortable. I've never felt comfortable with anybody that find me comfortable, So, I mean, it's a learning process. I keep evolving, I keep changing. As I leave here, I'm taking a different notion of you, of everybody I've met here. And so, basically, my thought processes change. My opinion of self and how I regard my environment changes. And that's what I like to prefer in my everyday life. I don't like to be read completely at any point in my life. I think it's anathema to my survival.
I see. Well, something happened going by what we've heard, that sometime in 2020, right before the pandemic, you had a time with your son. Coincidentally, that also came as a shocker. Oh, Iyke has a son? Oh, really? So who else does he have? Oh, 2 sons. Great. That's an exclusive. That's fine. All right. So you actually went out with your son and somewhere in Paris, if I'm right, and you were stuck right before the pandemic, say sometime before March, April, and you couldn't leave. You had to spend time there, months and months, and that came up with, that birthed something, a book.
Gift in the Odds.
Tell us about this.
I mean, my little guy did excellent in school, skipped a couple of classes, and we thought, I wanted to reward him, and he said he's Disney Paris. I said, okay, let's go. The world was shutting down, but as you know, I don't know if you're a father. Are you a father?
Yes, I am.
No, you can't say no. you brave the odds, but you can't say no.
Yeah.
The thing there's one thing in a father's life as reward when a child has met their request of them is to reward them. And when he said this was his bucket list, I couldn't tell my child the world was shutting down. So I thought I could dash to Paris quickly, returning back to the States. Unfortunately, we got to Paris. They still shut down. I wanted to hustle him quickly to London, spend time with his cousin until I figure out how to return him back. England shut down. Next in Paris shut down. We're being kicked out of our hotel.
Ooh.
So consequently, I had to rent a place in the suburbs and thought we could wait it out for a month. It turned out to be 6 months.
Wow. And
like every child, they don't survive in these situations. They thrive. They make new friends, they understand the ambience that's required, and then their natural instincts and innocence leads them to, coexist with others.
That's right.
We are far more careful how we coexist. We're socially awkward in a sense, especially black men in Europe. So I was struggling. He was thriving. I didn't know how to. Sometimes we switch roles. It was the father that was consoling me. I was the child that was throwing tantrums everywhere. He would tell me, "Take it easy, Papa. I mean, there's no big deal." And I would throw about tantrums next day. I understand how my kinetics work. I have to be. My mind is nimble. I have to be constantly engaged with different things, and We originally planned to write this book in 2022, this year. I have a short stint in Harvard. A course I was going to take and sometime last quarter this year. So we thought, while you're in Harvard, write. But as it stands, I had 4 months in my hands and nothing to do. So my wealth of experiences, my highs and lows, the journey I've traveled on, it can be replicated. It's unparalleled with any other person. There are days I wake up, I feel I'm 100 years old. There's no classroom rhetorics here. There's no classical teachings here. I've never been that sort of person. I've never learned anything that's been of substance in my life in any classroom setting.
So what do we really have in this book? You can see the book right here. It's here. That's it. The gift in the odds, walking through.
There are 15 volumes.
15 volumes.
Yes, each volume is subtitled. So for this title, every 2 months we're releasing a volume. So I have work already written for 2 years. I have about 18 volumes all written. So this is walking through walls where I have my unconventional and orthodox approach to life was what I wrote about, not every other person's. My political incorrectness, I beg your pardon. The way I sought love, the way I seek friendship, the way I did business. I do business still. My unconventional principles and ideologies as regards loyalty and betrayals and dealing with grief.
Everything is here?
Everything is
so let me ask you, do you also spill about your family?
Absolutely.
Your wife?
No. I never talk about my family. I did give hints enough for you to understand.
How long have you been married, by the way?
The structure of it. It's a very interesting question. I know you thrust it. I'm supposed to go with your energy.
Yeah, I mean,
no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But every relationship I've had, okay, every battle I've fought, all the press controversies, the media controversies, it's all written there. And it's a roadmap for anybody that sought a certain regard in life, a certain higher purpose in life. And this is a shortcut to getting it, because these are all teachings and principles that I wish somebody had taught me some 20 years ago.
All right, thank you so much, Mike, for being here.
Always,
it's a pleasure being here and talking to you once more. And that's it, our NC exclusive right here on News Central. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe Hansen.